A Look at Veterans is underwritten by the generous support of Berkshire Bank, America's most exciting bank.
What's your X? What makes you compete? What makes your blood pump? What makes you take risks? What makes you move faster, work harder? What makes you smarter? What makes you love? What's your passion? What excites you? So what's your X? Find your X. Life is exciting. Let us help.
A Look at Veterans is underwritten by the generous support of the factory outlets of Lake George. Over 50 great stores in one central location. Exit 20 off the Northway.
Everyone needs an outlet. The factory outlets of Lake George. One great location. Huge factory savings from designer brands like Eddie Bauer, Gap, LL Bean, Brooks Brothers, Under Armour, Carter's, and many more. Visit factoryoutletoflakegeorge.com for special offers and a VIP coupon book. Located just off Exit 20 on the Adirondack Northway. The factory outlets of Lake George. Everyone needs an outlet.
A Look at Veterans is underwritten by the generous support of Victory Funding. We deliver the best service with the highest level of expertise in the industry, and we are a local, veteran-owned business. Let us help you achieve your real estate goals. A Look at Veterans is underwritten by the generous support of the following companies and individuals. Airbest Reliability Instruments and Vibrolaser Instruments Corporation are masters of machine health. CEFQ, changing lives every day. And Jim's Glass Service. Thanks for the break. Full Moon Bar and Grill. The best place on earth is the moon. Or Apollo's Wine and Liquor, the liquor store with spirited and sparkling personality. And Bob's Trees, family owned and operated since 1942.
Our careers started behind the red line as maintainers, flight line warriors. We learned precision and predictive maintenance on critical United States Air Force aircraft where there is no margin for error. Today, the team at Airbest Reliability and Vibrolaser develops cutting-edge tools and technologies that keep your production machines running. Dynamic balancing, vibration analysis, laser alignment, masters of machine health.
Leave it to Cheryl. She spotted we have daffodils.
I'm so thrilled that you got me new flowers.
Well, it is Mother's Day.
It is Mother's
you know that,
Day,
okay?
and I truly appreciate
That's
it.
good, okay. And I'll tell you what we truly appreciate is Cheryl's contribution to this series, A Look at Veterans. We're about halfway through the series, and a day really doesn't go by. And Cheryl was saying the same thing, that we don't hear from somebody about this series. And we've been covering a lot of topics. And you may be wondering who Yul Brenner is over here. And this is Chris Connor, and he's Vice President MyBanker at Berkshire Bank. And first, welcome, Chris. Very nice to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me. Excited to be here.
You're quite welcome. And the reason we asked Chris to come in is really twofold. Is people have mentioned to both Cheryl and myself, you know, you're covering a lot of valuable topics here. Veterans face a lot of issues when it comes to finances. And in thinking about it, I have a personal experience with Berkshire Bank. And there's one thing about banking, it's an institution, but there's another thing about banking and relationships. So I can attest firsthand that I personally really value the second half of what I just said, that there's somebody I can call up, I can talk about it. Life has a lot of ups and downs. Now, we talk about veterans.
And it's a whole different angle to, we've been talking about the homeless veterans the services that they need, and veterans with disabilities and the services they need just to survive.
That's right.
And now this will bring a whole new aspect to the veteran community on how they can get help with their funding, financing, and I think the MyBanker part made me think, I've been banking with the same bank for 30 years. I don't even know anybody there.
Yeah, well, now you think now. You know, let's take this to veterans' needs.
Sure.
You're serving in the military. You get notice you've been deployed.
Yep.
That sends your life upside down in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
Tell me from your personal experience, what's that like when you have a client that's a vet?
Sure. Well, I mean, obviously it's something that they expect, but it's one thing that you can never really totally get a grasp, plan for until it happens. And one of the things that I tell them is, look, call me, call your local branch. We try to have a relationship, and when they call, they're going to get someone on the phone. But it's sitting down and having that conversation. Okay, so what are you looking to do while you're gone? Maybe it's adding someone to their account so they can handle their affairs for them.
Oh, sure.
Maybe it's just something as simple as filling out some paperwork to cap their interest rate on a loan. All of that comes into play when they're trying to get ready to deploy.
You know what, we hear frequently that someone's deployed, it's a family, so the member of the family left behind is the one that has to deal with the weekly finances and whatever. So things that we take for granted, like a checking account, for instance, there's a lot that, when you and I were talking, there was a lot that you were doing there because you recognize that on a week-to-week basis, something like a checking account is very important. Wouldn't you agree?
I just wanted to say that, and when a veteran or a military member is deployed, it's not for, okay, you're going to be gone 3 months. You're going to be gone 6 months. So it's 6 to 10 months.
That's right.
So how can a family plan to take care of their financial responsibilities when they don't even know how long they're going to be gone?
So now I imagine a lot of banking institutions offer favorable rates and things like that.
Yes.
But I want to ramp this up a bit because maybe it's just the way we run our business here. But I think to myself, I hate it when you call and it's dial 6 for veterans issues. I can't stand that. And I'm sure a lot of veterans do, and it's an uneasy time. And your children are in service. You worry about them
all the time.
So how do you deal with that?
Well, it's adding that personal touch. It's having that relationship with your customers. A lot of banks talk about trying to do that, and we also strive for that as well. One of the things with the MyBanker program, for instance, the number on my card is my cell phone. It comes to me anytime, day or night, and I'm there for anything, whether it's a conversation of planning that deployment or if they need a product or service or something along those lines. It's having that conversation so that they don't have to call a call center and press a button to talk to someone.
You know what, and I would imagine that you see certain themes repeated when you are talking to people, and it does really help to have a relationship because you know almost what to expect or know how to deal with it, right? I mean, you see that with Vet Help all the time.
When you get to make that personal connection, things go so much smoother.
That's right.
They know you, they know what to expect. If I go into my bank, I don't have a banker, and want to apply for a loan, I could be with 3 different people.
Yeah, right.
So I think that aspect for a veteran
is
very supportive and very reassuring to them that their needs are going to be heard and are going to be personalized and met.
And it's needs when they come back too. It takes time for a vet to get back on their feet again.
Oh, yes.
Even if they start a job, move right back here and move right into employment, credit ratings and all of these other assorted things, they just need to be addressed in a personal way. And, just chasing one thing that you're saying, if your better half is not with you, you can go. You don't have anybody to go home to talk to. What do you think of this?
Right.
So all of a sudden that relationship is ramped up too.
Absolutely.
Yep. And the military member is over there worrying, how is she doing? Are things getting paid? And so
well, having a point of contact at the bank that both parties know. So it's not walking into a branch and not knowing any of the branch staff or anything. It's like, okay, we'll call Chris. He'll help you with your needs or answer your questions or
so
whatever
you'll
the
work
case may
with the
be.
spouse while the military member's away. That's phenomenal.
Right. Well, I think you have to. Look, it's not an infomercial for Berkshire Bank, trust me. Banking, all institutions offer services and whatever. But again, just from personal experience, it is the relationship. And hearing Chris talk about what it means to him for his clients that do serve, or the spouses of the clients that serve, the better half of the person that serves, really separates it out. Because it's one thing about whether you're getting an extra quarter point someplace or something like that, as opposed to whether you're worried, whether you're concerned, and helping that person navigate that territory.
And knowing you have one person that's going to help you get through it, because your spouse is away. So I think that's
Absolutely.
a
Great,
big
Chris.
advantage.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And Chris is with Berkshire Bank, and find out about the services. I happen to be in there doing my usual banking, right?
Your banker.
Well, my banker, yeah. I tell you, when my banker sees me coming, they kind of like all of a sudden go to the restroom. I don't know what happens. Chris, you got to fix this for me. You know? But one thing I picked up on the coffee table is just a whole brochure that was just dedicated to personal and business services, with the word personal first and business second, with a whole bunch of interesting programs that they offer. Well, Chris, thank you very much for taking the time to come in. Great to see you as always. I'll see you next week.
You'll see me next week. And again, thank you for my new flowers.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Don't touch them.
I won't touch them. I won't.
Okay, to see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.